They're turtles.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Let's show them the turtles know how to party!
Yo, William Medina, you won the giveaway from last week's video. Enjoy your trending comics list. Holy smokes, comic fam. Another week, another list of the trending comic books in the comic market at the table virtually with an Overstreet price guide advisor, Russ Bright. And comic fam, Russ, I think we've had more news break in the last 24 hours than we've had in the last 2 years.
That is absolutely right, Tom. You know what? It was incredible how many notifications were going off this week. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? Things are getting affected this week and probably going to affect next week as well.
The Comic Fam can keep up with all of this news by downloading Key Collector Comics, available on both Android and iPhones, and utilize that code Tom101. You'll support the show, but you also unlock a free week subscription to the best comic app, and it's going to keep you up on all things in the comic book industry. Let's start them off with number 10 on this list of trending books, because we have, what? A thank you variant being sent out courtesy of the creator of TMNT?
Number 10 on the list, the TMNT Last Ronin Red Foil 1 per store variant. Now, this book was announced a couple months ago when the first print came out, letting us know that for every 75 copies that stores got, they would be getting one copy of this book. And that's probably why it's going for $140 average with a high sale of about $175. Now, not all stores got them. And if you didn't order 75, you may not have gotten one. I think some of you might remember that I was complaining that I didn't think I was getting one because I got 69. And it was not enough. I actually hadn't hit that threshold. Well, I did reach out to IDW and they were kind enough to send me one. So I did get mine. So if your store got shorted, please have them reach out to IDW, because you know what? IDW is doing their absolute best to make it right with the retailers.
It's cool you got one, Russ. I mean, 130,000 copies were pre-ordered by retailers, which is why Kevin Eastman decided to do this thank you variant. Now, let's take a look at number 9 on the list, because we have War of the Realms Omega number 1 making it. $6 average sales and $120 for a CGC 9.8. And I think we have our friend Jim Comics to blame, Russ.
And if you don't know who he is, Jim Comics is one of our friends over on YouTube who has some amazing spec information. If you're paying attention to him, he is really ahead of the game.
We're seeing a 1,700% increase in copies sold after Jim Comics reminded his community about Jane Foster turning into a Valkyrie in this issue. It's a major moment for the character, as well as the fact that the second printing was super scarce. 1,700%. I mean, that's a lot of copies sold, and it warranted a pretty dope quote from Key Collector Comics commenting on the trending 20, and I wanted to read it to the community today. So in reference to the trending list's purpose, the trending list is a weekly analysis of why an issue is trending upwards in the amount of copies that are being purchased, which isn't to say that we are suggesting any of these issues should or should not be purchased, or that we are agreeing or disagreeing with another outlet's speculation. What do you think about that, Russ?
That's correct. It's the reason why Tom and I want to hit the mic every single week, because we have facts and numbers to back up a lot of this speculation, as well as the opportunity to be able to give our points of view on these comic books.
Slap that subscribe button. You know we're here every week for the comic book community, and go give Jim Comics some love. He's a good friend up in Canada. And let's chat about number 8 on the list. Russ, I freaking love this spec. Shogun Warriors issue number 1 coming in on the list. At number 8, we have $9 average sales and a high sale of $200 because of an Image title called Crossover by a guy named Donny Cates. I don't know.
So if you live under a rock and don't know who Donny Cates is, he just keeps blowing things up. I say this every week, but you really got to be reading Crossover. Issue number 2 came out this week, and we've seen that the cover for issue number 3 has a big robot-style thing standing on the front that looks suspiciously like the cover of Shogun Warriors number 1.
But from like the reverse perspective, right? And here's the thing. We don't know if this is Shogun Warriors. Some members of the community have also pointed out that this could be a Gundam. And Russ, you actually went to Japan, so you saw some Gundams firsthand over this last year, right?
I was in Japan in March of 2019 to go and see Ichiro play his final games for the Mariners in Tokyo. It was an amazing experience, and I had the opportunity to go see the 10-story tall Gundam statue at the Diver City Mall. Well, if you watch this video, you will see that his horn is a little bit straighter when it splits apart in the unicorn style. And that's what this looks a little bit more like to me than the Shogun Warriors.
Big shout out to Bronze Age Broski, who called this spec, whether it be Raiden from Shogun Warriors or a Gundam, I'm not sure yet, but it caused a 250% increase in copies sold. I actually related this to the Kirkman reversal of perspective that they did from issue 1 to that issue 100 release. And I thought that this is kind of a similar thing happening. We got the same publishing company. Comic Fam, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are we dealing with the Gundam or are we dealing with the Mecha from Shogun Warriors? And let's chat about number 7 on the list.
Number 7 on the list, we have Hawkeye number 9 with $20 average sales and a high sale of $125 at a CGC 9.8.
We're seeing an 817% increase in copies sold, and this isn't the first time this book has spiked in the last couple months. Speculators were thinking that Clown, who appears for the first time in these pages, was a great spec for the upcoming Hawkeye Disney Plus show, given that the show was going to be based off the Matt Fraction run. And right now we have not just reporting that this is confirmed, we have the actor going on to Twitter just talking about how crazy excited it is to play Clown. This is what Frothy had to say. Outrageously excited to be bringing this legend to life in, well, I'm the first person in line to see these movies at the cinema. To suffice to say, I'm pretty much freaking out, folks. Say hello to this absolute dude, Kazi. Not only do we have Clown coming, Haley Steinfeld was revealed this week in costume on set as Kate Bishop. I'm so stoked about this. We have our next Hawkeye, and I think that for as excited as the community is right now, I think we're all underestimating how popular of a hero she's gonna be. This show's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, there's been a lot of buzz about Kate Bishop for a couple years now, and this is going to explode.
At the list now at number 6, we have Captain America 312, seeing an $8 average sale and $70 for a CGC 9.6. I didn't even see any 9.8s because I don't think anyone was speccing on this book. We have the first appearance of Flag Smasher, seeing a 300% increase in copies sold in just 7 days. After a leak, we saw like the picture of Flag Smasher with mask on, and that was enough to propel this book to new grounds, new heights. But then literally on Friday, after the Marvel announcements, just a slew of Marvel announcements. What do they call this? This is the investor meeting that happens pretty much every year. We found out like 20 new shows, 10 Star Wars franchises, as well as 10 different Marvel franchises coming to the screen. It's crazy.
The thing that constantly impresses me is the fact that every single one of the trailers that I see are just such high production value. We know that since people can't go to the movie theaters now and probably won't be able to do it for quite some time, Disney Plus is just kicking it up a notch. The production is astounding. The actors are astounding. And this is just the best stuff around. And I'm excited to see most of the things on these lists.
The trailers look so good, and I'm very grateful that it dropped soon after the leak, because at first it seemed like we were just getting one villain, Flag Smasher. However, the trailer reveals that this is an entire terrorist organization. There's a lot of individuals wearing the same mask, making the key aspect of like the first appearance of this one villain in comics not as exciting to me. This isn't the same type of narrative. We know also that Baron Zemo is likely going to be the antagonist of this series. How he is connected, like what the relationship is to the Flag Smashers, is currently unknown, but I'm very much excited to see what antagonists are starting to come out now, finally getting some news and visuals on screen before 2020 ends. Can't come soon enough.
Number 5 on the list, we have Daredevil number 9. And we've been talking about this for a little while because it's the first appearance of Echo, a Native American deaf superhero.
We're seeing a 317% increase in copies sold in 7 days. We're also seeing a $40 average sale and a high sale of $280 for a CGC 9.8. Confirmed this week, she's coming to Disney Plus and she's coming to Hawkeye. And we have a newcomer.
We are very excited to see Alaqua Cox bringing the character of Echo to the screen. This is really one that I've been excited about for a long time.
Echo's coming to Hawkeye Disney Plus. I was crossing my fingers for this. Keep an eye out for that issue number 10 of Daredevil featuring her on the cover for the first time. And it's a David Mack cover, and it made the trending 20. Use that code Tom101 to take a look at the other 10 comics on the list. It's not just these 10 that you got to know. And let's chat about number 4 on the list, because Star Wars news was just as epic as all the other Marvel news. Was it not, Russ?
Oh my gosh, Tom. I mean, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it's here. It's now. It is not a long time ago. And the fact that Star Wars number 2 is on this list at a criminally undervalued $30 for this issue. You got Obi-Wan Kenobi's first appearance in story. You got Chewbacca's first appearance in story. You have a prototype Jabba the Hutt in the story. I mean, this is one of those books from the original 1977 Marvel Comics run that really, if you're a fan, you've got to have the first 6 of these books.
The first appearance of the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star, Han Solo, and for a 9.8, we're seeing some pretty big gains. But as you mentioned, there's, I think, some room for members to put some money down because it's only going for $875. And you just heard that slate of first appearances. 9.6s of this book went for $150 as early as September, and are currently selling for $325 right now. And after seeing a 411% increase in copies sold in 7 days after the announcement of an Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series that will feature Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader, I'm all in on this, and I'm not even a very big Star Wars fan. I'm going to be watching all these shows.
Tom, the thing that really excites me about this series is the fact that it takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Now, there were some rumors going around that Harrison Ford could be reprising his role as Han Solo. Well, we've found out that he is going to be doing an Indiana Jones Disney Plus series, but not anything Han Solo right now. So the odds of us seeing a ghost Han Solo from Harrison Ford is pretty slim to none.
Before we get to number 3, Comic Fam, go over to the Golden Age Guru over on Instagram right now. If we got this video out on time on Saturday, we're actively doing a comic book claim sale, and you can support the show and we'll get you some comic books. Let's chat about number 3 on the list, Russ, because we have a video game, Metal Gear Solid issue number 1. Oscar Isaac cannot stay off this list.
Whether he's in Dune, whether he's going to be in Star Wars doing more Poe Dameron, there's speculation that he could even be Submariner. He is a busy, busy guy right now. And you know what? All I want to see is him running around with a box that he can hide in.
We have Oscar Isaac possibly taking on the role of Solid Snake, Sony's upcoming Metal Gear Solid film, pushing this issue number 1 to an increase of copies sold of 1,650%, selling for $40 average sales and a high sale of $150 for a CGC 9.8. I also found a couple really fun variants I wanted to showcase to the community. There's a couple more than the 2 I'm going to report on, but you have to take a look at this variant cover by Ashley Wood. Only 1,000 copies were made, and they were distributed at the 2004 Diamond Retailer Summit, given away, and they're going for $150. Don't you miss the retailer summits, Russ?
Oh, I really, really do, Tom, because being a retailer, it was always nice to go and sit through those really, really long seminars and then get rewarded at the end of it by a big bag of swag and a whole bunch of books.
And then we also have the 1 in 25 cover that's also done by Ashley Wood. It's the Foxhound edition, which is the name of the Special Forces unit in the video game and what the comic was named after. And here's the kicker. Only won 9.8 on the census, and it sold this last week for $500.
That's incredible.
Now we're looking at number 2 on the list, and we have Avengers number 19. Yeah, some Silver Age goodness making the list. It's a double key. We have the origin of Hawkeye, but we also have the first appearance of the Swordsman. $320 average sales with a high sale at a 9.6 of $2,150. And that's this very week after confirmation that this villain slash anti-hero, he's kind of gone both ways in the comic books, is going to be in Hawkeye on Disney+.
2,050% increase over last week, Tom. And you know what? We have Tony Dalton from Better Call Saul who's going to be playing this character. Now, we're assuming that he is going to be a foil to Clint Barton and probably do some interference while Clint's training Kate Bishop to be the new Hawkeye. But you know what? We have no idea how close this Silver Age character is going to be to what we're going to see in the new series.
It is so cool to see all these master swordsmen that are slated for the future. Heck, we got Taskmaster around the corner, Jon Snow playing the Black Knight, and now the Swordsman coming onto Disney+. No better time to be into comics, especially because of our December mystery mail call. Russ, they only got like a day left.
Oh my gosh, Tom, yes, you have until the 15th of the month to sign up. We have this incredible Nick Klein King in Black variant going out, and for a select few of you, you're going to be getting trade dress or non-trade dress versions of the TMNT number 110 Peach Momoko variant.
Everybody will be getting a King in Black number 1, and everybody will be getting a TMNT 110, the first appearance of the Last Ronin in preview. Whether it be a virgin or a trade dress, it's random. Link in the description to join the community and support the show. And number 1 on the list, Russ, we have a comic book that has gone full circle. It's arrived. Naomi's coming to the CW.
It is so good to see this book finally come all the way around because people were really, again, in 2018 when this came out, Brian Michael Bendis wrote a great story. It was a great new character. There was buzz about it. She was kind of related to Superman. What was happening? What was this story? And it spiked and it was massive. And then it petered out and then it cooled down and then it kind of didn't really go anywhere, and it's really, really nice to see that it's picking up steam again because it is a great character, and the fact that we have an announcement that she's going to have her own TV series, well, that's why this book is on this week and selling for $85 average sale.
We're seeing a high of $250 for a CGC 9.8. Not only is Naomi coming to the CW, we got Ava DuVernay attached. This is something that no one was expecting, but people were really hoping because Naomi was such a banger. It was such a great narrative, so much mystery behind it, the ramp up and the transition to superhero over the course of a year. It kept readers interested, and it kept those who were speccing on Naomi early, it kept them honestly positive. They held on to it. They kept speccing, and it paid off this week.
There were only 25,252 copies of cover A sold, but there were even fewer copies of cover B, which is an incredible Lou Pacino variant, which is $50. There's also a second printing variant where Wonder Comics is colored red, and that one's selling for $25.
Keep an eye out for that black and white third print variant. I think there's some room on that one. And then there's also the promotional exclusive that was given away at a convention in 2019, going for $45. But here's the thing, this very week, it outsold the cover A at 9.8, selling for $376. Comic fam, slap the subscribe button. You know we're going to be here next week reporting on the trending comics in the comic industry. And, as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic fam, how'd you like that video? I think it was pretty all right, you know? It's okay. We have 2 other videos here for you to check out. Pick either one. We made them for you, and have a great weekend.